All right, we're just about to get started. Let me wait just a minute because there is a bit of a delay. Just waiting for everybody to get logged in and then we'll get started. All right, we are live. So welcome everyone to our Team Tough Down and Dirty call. Today we're going to be talking about how to compress time. So basically what I'm going to be showing you today are some tips, or sharing with you some tips and tools that you can use in order to get more done in the day. Isn't that cool? So one of the challenges that often we have is that we have so many things that we want to do in our day and in our life. And sometimes it's hard because you have, family commitments, you have, work commitments, you have extracurricular commitments. So how do you get it all done? And I think the most important part of this is to think about that you are not different than some of the great inventors of the world. There's a quote out there that I posted, and here, actually, let me read it to you because it's such a good quote and it really makes you think. And the quote is, and this is from H. Jackson Brown, and it says, "Don't say that you don't have enough time. You have exactly the same number of hours per day that were given to Helen Keller, Pasteur, Michelangelo, Mother Teresa, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Jefferson, and Albert Einstein." So when you think that you don't have enough time in the day, I want you to consider that all of those amazing people that, have went down in history have had the exact same amount of time as you have. So it really comes down to managing your time more effectively. And we're going to speak on this today from two sides. We're going to help you with your business side for those of you that have your own business. And for my team, in case you're new to this call and you've never been on these Hangouts, my name is Vishan Borich, and I am the owner of Team Tough. And TOUGH stands for tough, unstoppable, fearless, and free. And what that means basically is that I help to empower people who wish to stay home with their families or wish to travel and be able to work from anywhere using only their laptop computer. And so we have a really amazing lifestyle that I've created, and I have a bunch of people who are on Team Tough who are doing the same thing. So let me get into the nitty gritty. I like to call this the down and dirty because I basically show you exactly what I'm doing. You get your hands dirty, you see exactly what I'm doing behind the scenes in order to run my business. And that's my goal, is to really help you out so that you can run your business and your life even better. So first things first, we want to talk about time management. In order to get the most out of your day, you really need to have a good handle on your day and your time and what's important to you. And part of the problem that we run into is that we let other things eat up our time that aren't going to serve us as well. So one of the things I challenge you to do, if you're really struggling in your business and your life to accomplish the things that you wish to, is to sit down, to carve out some time, after work or whatever you're doing, sit down and prioritize the things that you would really like in your life, the things that are really important to you. And I'll give you a hint: set a timer for about 10 minutes and jot down as quickly as you can the things that are most important to you. You'll find that in doing that, it forces your mind to go into hyperdrive and actually write down what really is important to you from your heart. So as an example, some of the things that are important for me, number one, it's really important for me to have time with my children. I have two little boys, age 9 and age 6, who really need me in their life. And I know that kids grow so fast. And so, one of the things that's important is that I have time and flexibility to spend with them. So that time freedom is so important to me. The second thing that's important is that I am physically healthy and happy. So in order to be physically healthy and happy, I have to make good life choices as far as the things that I do, things that I put into my body, making sure I get exercise every day. So these are important things too. The third thing is that I have good relationships with my family and friends. So I set aside time to make those connections with my friends and my family, and those that really are important to me. And then fourthly, something that's really important to me is my business. I want to see it grow, and more importantly, I want to help others so that I can make an impact and inspire them to live a lifestyle that they enjoy. So every day I'm looking for ways to grow my business and make it even better. And then for me, the fifth thing is my faith. I'm a Christian, and so one of the things that's really important to me is that I spend time praying and meditating and learning and getting closer to my religion. Now those aren't in the specific order, but I just wanted to share my own, so that when you are sitting there with your timer and jotting down the things that are most important to you, that you consider those things. Okay, so why is this so important? Once you know what's important to you, now it's time to cut out the things that are interfering with you achieving those goals. So for instance, for me, I said that it's really important to spend time with my sons. So if there are things in my life that don't require an urgent action, or maybe they just aren't that important, then I'm going to cut those out in order to be able to spend more time with my sons. So for example, I hardly ever watch television anymore. I mean, I used to watch it quite a bit, actually, but I found that watching television takes away time for me that I could spend doing other things that are going to help push me forward in my life and allow me to spend more time with my sons. So I cut those things out of my life that aren't as important and aren't going to help me in my life. Now, some of you may have a little bit of an internet addiction. I think we do in the business I'm in. Think about how often you're on Facebook or other social media sites, or just surfing the web. Could that amount of time be spent more effectively doing something else? So I'm a big proponent of using a timer. And so if you're struggling in your days, set a timer and actually time yourself and see how often you are doing things that are non-productive to meeting those goals that you wrote down. And once you realize what those are, start culling those out. Another thing, maybe one of your goals is you'd like to lose weight, or you'd like to be healthier. Start keeping a diary of the things that you eat that aren't healthy, or make note of the times in which you kind of fall off the wagon and you eat things that are really not good for you, or maybe you do things that aren't healthy for you. And see what else you can replace during those times of weakness, so that you stay focused on your goal. So these are just some ideas on lifestyle shaping, so that the time that you spend is the most productive. Okay, so we're going to move on now, because I'm going to talk about some specific tools that you can use in order to help you and your life, and to basically compress that time that we spoke of. So one of the things that you probably have heard before is that if you want to be wealthy in this world, you don't want to work hard, you want to work smart. So the wealthiest people in the world, they work smartly. They don't work harder and harder and harder. Because if you think about it, if you constantly think, in order to make $1 million, for example, do you think that the person who makes $1 million has to work 1 million times harder than somebody who's only making $1,000 a month? No, it's impossible. It's physically impossible for somebody to work harder in order to make that much more money. Eventually, you come to a peak where you cannot literally work any harder than you are. And so if you think you have to work harder in order to make more money, then you need to start thinking that there's a different way to look at things, different mindset. And that's really what it's all about. So don't work harder, work smarter. So as you start thinking about the goals that you have in your life, what are some ways that you can accomplish those goals without working yourself to death? Start jotting those down. It's called planning out a system. A system is something that works for you while you're doing other things. Isn't that cool? Just like the business that I have, it literally works for me while I'm doing other things, while I'm spending time with my sons, while I'm off, going to church or something like that. It literally works for me. I make money while I sleep sometimes. I know that sounds crazy, but there are ways that you can do that in your life. And if you really are interested in what I do, this isn't really a sales call. It's more about how I can help you compress time. But if you are interested in what I do, and that's a dream that you have, I encourage you to click on the button below. You'll see it down there. It says Join Team Tough, and we'll get you some more information on how you can do what I do. Okay. All right. So back to that compressing time. We talked about how you can look at things more smartly instead of looking at it for working harder. So one of the things I encourage you to do is to start outsourcing things that really aren't that important to you. In other words, they take away from the time that you really want to spend doing the things you love. Let me give you an example. So one of the things that I used to do, because I love, in this time of year, it's cold where I live, it's getting colder at least. I love a nice roaring fire. I love having a fireplace in my home, a wood burning fireplace. And part of the joy of that fireplace is, having the logs and the smell, and I love that. But here's the thing, you have to cut firewood. You have to have a lot of firewood prepared for the winter. And as a single mom, I really, going out and cutting firewood is something that takes a lot of time and work and effort. And it's not that I don't mind a little work and effort, but as I started to think about it, that act took more time than it would cost me to pay someone to do it or to buy pre-cut firewood. So you have to think in terms of how much is this really costing me and how much do I value my own worth? And if you value yourself and your time, then you're going to, not do something that's going to take away from the opportunities you have to spend with your family or make money in your business. So what do? I now find ways to get that wood on my own. I find other people that can create that for me or chop the wood for me and deliver it. And now I have a nice roaring fire without me having to chop all the wood. Well, I know it's a very simple thing, but I want you to start thinking of your life and your business that way, because there are ways that you can make a ton more income in your life just by cutting out things that are wasting your time, not making you income, or not allowing you to spend time with those you love. Okay, so one of the things that I do is every day I listen to an audio. And what I mean by that is I listen to an empowering audio that helps to get my mindset in the proper place. Because if you have a negative attitude on life, you can't enjoy all the things that I mentioned earlier. So I listen to something every single day. One thing that I found is that if I just sat and listened, that I kind of felt like I wasn't getting as much done. So what I do is I actually listen to these audios on my way back home from taking my sons to school. And the average audio I listen to is about 30 minutes to an hour. So I at least get the first 30 minutes because it's kind of a trek to go. We live in a rural area, so it's a bit of a drive there and back to take my kids to school. But I use that time productively by listening. And the way I do it is I actually download the audios to my phone. I have an iPhone, and I download it right onto my phone here. And that way I can actually, listen to these while I'm driving. So I'm compressing time that way by doing an activity while I'm doing something else. Some of you may have a long commute. Maybe you drive to work and you have to fight traffic or whatever. Well, I encourage you to, instead of just listening to music, get some audios that are going to uplift you, or books on tape. And I say that loosely, mainly it's books digitally these days. And listen to those on your commute. It really makes the time go by a lot faster, number one. And number two, it's a way to expand your mind. You cannot expect your life to improve unless you are constantly improving. If you one day want to be a millionaire, you have to prepare your mind to be a millionaire before that'll ever happen. So listening to books on tape, one of the tools that I use is I use an app on my phone called Audible. and that's Audible. And I'm actually going to flip my screen around. I'm going to see if I can pull up a few of these for you, because I promised you I would share some tools that can really change your life and help you out. So give me a moment here as I share my screen. All right. I'm going to pull up Audible. All right, so this is, I'm sure that they have this for both iPhones as well as Android devices, but I definitely encourage you to download Audible or something similar. I like Audible because it works really well with Amazon, and oftentimes, you know, you can just go to your Amazon account if you have that and just click on an audiobook and it'll automatically download right away to your Audible on your phone, which is great because now you can listen to books on tape. Now, here's another little tip that I love about Audible is that you can speed up the person's voice who's reading that book. The benefit of that is that by speeding up their voice, you can actually digest more information more quickly. Now, obviously, some people talk really fast, so you may not want to speed up their voice, but every now and then you'll get an author who's reading the book and they read it really slow. Well, I try to read at least 3 books a week. Did you hear that? I try to actually read 3 books a week. Now, by read, I'm actually listening to the books. And I can listen to those books while I'm driving. I can listen to them while I'm doing laundry, while I'm taking a walk, while I'm exercising. I can listen to it, you know, doing any type of tasks, so that I actually am, you know, compressing time. And that's the whole purpose of what I'm teaching you today, is how you can compress time so that you can get more done in a shorter amount of time. So Audible, and you can speed that up. That's the first tool. The second tool I want to show you is a tool called Video Speed Controller. And if you're looking at my screen right now, you'll see in the upper right corner, there's this little double arrow. It's in red. I'm going to hover over it. You should see it says Video Speed Controller. If you can't see it, I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. But the benefit of this is a free plugin for Google. And what it does is it allows you to speed up videos online. Why is this great? Because I also watch a lot of educational videos throughout my days. That's part of what I do for a living is you know, I learn and then I share what I learn to people like you. And in order to learn, sometimes there's so many different videos, it can take a long time to watch all those videos. So I actually speed them up. Sometimes I can speed them up to 2 times the speed, and a few of them I can even speed up to 3 times the speed that they actually are. And sometimes they, you know, they sound a little bit like the Chipmunks. If you remember Alvin and the Chipmunks, they sound a little bit like that. But that's okay, because you can still get that information, and that's really, really good. And then you can always pause it too. If you get some really good information and you want to write that down, you can pause the video and go from there. So I'm going to show you, number 1, where to get it, and then number 2, I'll show you how it works. So for this Video Speed Controller, you simply click in Google on the little settings area. You click there, you go to settings. It has to be Google Chrome. I don't think this particular app works in Firefox, but you can check it out. If you do find differently, let me know or put it down in the chat window below and share what works for you. Okay, so here I am in settings, and if I go here to Chrome extensions, you'll see I've got quite a few different extensions that I use, but if I scroll down, you'll see the one here. It says Video Speed Controller. So that's the one you want. It looks like these 2 little red arrows. In order to find them, though, you can actually do a search. You can just do a Google search for Video Speed Controller. And when you find it, you can, you know, just download it and add it to your settings and make sure it's enabled. All right, so let me show you how it works. So I'm going to go to, this is a video I did recently with my son, Ty. And right now, you see up here, this little window in the top of the video automatically shows up because I have that extension installed. So right now, it's at 1. This is the standard voice %. So if I play the video, All right, so you can kind of hear that's just regular speed. Now, watch this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to update, or I'm going to increase the speed. Let me increase the sound here first on my computer. I'm going to increase the speed, and all I got to do, let me put it play again. I'm going to come up here and click the plus symbol. I'm speeding it up. You see, it sounds kind of funny, but you can still pick it up. You see how that works? So I know it's kind of weird to listen to people talking really fast, but you can still pick it up, and then you can capture a lot more information and literally compress time in your life and in your business. So some other things I wanted to show you that can help speed up your life, speed up your business. If you have an online business like I do, a couple things that are tools that are really going to become your friend if they haven't already. The first one is YouTube, which I'm already on right now. But the reason that YouTube is so fabulous is that, let's say that you want to learn how to build a website, or you want to learn how to capture leads, or whatever it is that you want to learn how to do. You can come into YouTube and type in the search bar what you're looking to do, and 99% of the time you're going to find a video that shows you how to do that. Okay, so I would definitely recommend, before you start going out and doing a search across the internet on how to do something, just go to YouTube, type in what you're looking to do, and figure it out. And there's a lot of great information out there that you can find. All right, so that's one tool. The second tool that I recommend that you use is something called Fiverr. Some of you on this Hangout probably know what that is. I'm going to go there right now, and it's Fiverr.com. So what's Fiverr? Fiverr is basically a place where you can actually find people to do work for you. There are so many things out there. It's crazy. You come to Fiverr, you type in what it is that you're looking for, and then you can find people that'll literally do it for about $5. $5. So think about how that affects you as a person. Like, if for me, I figured out about how much my time is worth. And I mean, it sounds kind of exorbitant, but I'm an entrepreneur, and my time is worth no less than $100 an hour. So if I am spending over an hour on something that somebody else can do for $5, and I can make $100 off of whatever it is they're doing or more, is that worth my time? Absolutely it is. So I encourage you to hire people to do things that don't come easy to you. You can't be a jack of all trades and expect to actually grow a business quickly. So I recommend using Fiverr. Fiverr is really good for things that aren't extremely technical. Like, for instance, like here's one: you can hire a spokesperson for your products or services. You can have somebody design a logo for your business. You can have somebody design a book cover if you're writing a book. If you want an app for your business, you can have somebody develop an app for you. All of this for $5. So those are really great. The other one I want to show you, if you need somebody that's more technical, like maybe you need a program design, or maybe you have something on your website that you want interactive, or forms or something. I use Odesk, and that's the letter O and then desk, desk.com. And what Odesk is it's very similar to Fiverr. It's going to be more than $5 for most of these people, but it's not going to be so expensive that it's worth you figuring out. Most of the things that these people do are extremely technical. Like, if I needed a complete website done in a heartbeat, and I wanted it to be interactive and capture people's emails and everything else, I might hire somebody from Odesk to do that for me. So this is, and they can develop code, they can improve your search engine optimization, they can even write blogs for you. Like, if you don't have time to do blog posts, this is a way that you can get blogs written for you. So I want you to consider these things, because it goes back to your priorities in life. If you want to have more time, you need to start looking outside the box as to how people can help you so that you can have more time to do the things that you love. And in the end, some of you may be saying, man, I don't want to start spending all this money. What if in spending this money, it allows you to make thousands more than you're making today. I want you to consider that, because it's really about that. It's really about how can you make more money so that you can enjoy the things that you love. All right, one more tool that I wanted to show you today, and that's another app that I use on my phone all the time, and it's called Wunderlist. And the Wonder is spelled W-U-N-D-E-R-L-I-S-T. Wunderlist. And what I love about this is a way to make a list. Like one of the things that I do on a regular basis is the night before. So, yesterday was Sunday. So Sunday night, I made a list of no more than 10 things that I wanted to get done today on Monday. And of those 10 things, I have 5 things that are personal things, maybe spending some more time with my kids. I'm actually making a really special dinner tonight because we're going out of town for Thanksgiving. So I'm making a dinner for some friends tonight. So I had to prepare all that. So I made some personal things, and I also made business things. Like I wanted to attract more leads to a specific post that I did on my blog. I wanted to, schedule this call. I wanted to set this call up and put together my outline for what I wanted to do. So I put all those things as a list in Wunderlist. The benefit of this app, though, is that it can email you reminders as to specific to-do items. And what's nice is it's always with you. So I always have my phone with me. So I could be on a meeting or out with my sons, and I can quickly scan my phone and see what I have left to do for the day. Maybe I have an event that I'm planning. I can check it out and see what other items I need to prepare for that event. And then I can also have it, send me those alerts and reminders so that I get those and I can see how far I am from meeting my goals. So I really like this app. It's really helped to keep me more organized. I hope that you find it useful as well. All right, so I've given you quite a few tools. I wanted to talk now. I'm going to go back to my screen so you can see me again. Give me just a second. Hold on, it's giving me taking some time to get it off the screen share. You know how that goes. All right, there it goes. Hello again. All right, so we've talked a little bit about some tools. We've talked a little bit about mindset. One of the things I want to talk about now is your business in general. So some of you are starting a brand new business. Some of you have been on my team for a while, and you're just getting to grow your business, or you're at a point where you want to grow it even more than it is. So here's some suggestions I have for you on how to compress your time and how to help speed your business success. The first thing is I want you to consider what the money-making activities are for your business. These are revenue-generating activities that are going to help take your business to the next level. Those are the things that you should focus on every day. Now, it's not to say the other things aren't important, but if you focus first thing in the morning when you come in to do your business, or if you start your business in the evening, whenever your workday starts, you need to start off with a revenue-making thing, a revenue-making activity. Otherwise, your business is not going to grow. So what are some revenue-generating activities? Well, number one, if you're in an online business like I am, you need leads. In other words, you need people to come and see what you're doing. You need to capture their email addresses. So one of the things you need to be doing if you're in business is you need to be sharing different things about your business. You need to be posting online. You need to be posting blogs. You need to be including a link to your capture pages. A capture page is where people enter their email address. You need to be sharing that on a regular basis. That is a revenue generating activity. You also can consider some of the social media sites as being revenue generating activities. If you are taking your blog and you're syndicating that, in other words, you're pushing it out to all of the different social media sites such as Facebook and Google Plus and Instagram and Twitter, et cetera, that is also a revenue generating activity because you are now getting your content in front of people, which in turn can help drive traffic to you and your business. Making a video is a revenue generating activity if you're going to share that with the world and to encourage people to get to know, like, and trust you so that they can join you or buy your products. Okay, so you need to really think about those. Take action every single day. I know that you've probably heard me say that before, but here's how it works. Any business, doesn't matter if you're in the same business I'm in or some other business, there are going to be times in which it's tough. But if you continue to take action, eventually you will strike gold. Now, I know I can't make guarantees on revenue or income, but I can tell you that everybody who continues down the path eventually strikes gold. Now, by gold, it could be, a small amount depending on your goals, or it could be a huge amount. But you can't give up. If you give up, you're never going to reach your goal. I'm sure you've heard of the story of 3 inches from gold or 3 feet from gold. There's a story in the book Think and Grow Rich that talks about, and it's by Napoleon Hill. It talks about how this guy bought some land, and the land that he purchased, it was told to have gold on the land. And so he started this huge mining operation, and at first he found a bunch of gold, but then after a while it just kind of dried up and he couldn't find any more. Well, they kept digging and digging and digging, and years went by and he still couldn't find any more gold. And so finally he just said, forget it, obviously the gold that we found is all that's there. I'm giving up this mining operation. So they sealed up the mine and he sold the land and he took off. Well, somebody else bought the land, and they were really smart. They went out there and they actually went and they got an expert who knows about geology and how it works. And this expert, looked at it and said, if I look through the geology of this land, the person who stopped, they obviously don't understand how the land has layers and how a vein that was up at the top might meet down at the bottom because of the way the land got cut. And he said, I think the vein of this gold, you're going to reach it in about 3 feet. And so that's exactly what happened. This person who bought the land for literally, a few $1,000s compared to how much, that it originally was purchased for, he started the mining operation again, and literally 3 feet from where he dug, he found the vein again. And this time it was even bigger than the original vein, and it was just full of gold. And that's the same thing in your business. If you keep taking action every day, no matter how small, slowly but surely, and sometimes it comes faster than you think, you will start making the income and creating the lifestyle that you desire. All right, so the keys today that I hope you got out of this presentation and this hangout is how to compress time. So don't do jobs. I'm just going to kind of go through them again. Don't do jobs that you can easily hire somebody else to do or trade for somebody else to do that takes more time away from the things you love to do. Don't do those type of jobs. Okay, how important is it? If it's not leading to those goals that you wrote down, get somebody else to help you do it. Okay, second one, use tools, especially online tools, in order to help you compress that time. Find ways to pick up extra time by listening while you're doing tasks such as housework, by listening or watching videos at a hyper speed so that you can digest more information. Find ways to increase your revenue in your business by doing things that are revenue generating activities. And by doing those things, it's going to help you compress time further, because once the money starts flowing in, it relieves some of that stress and it allows you to open up and lead a much less stressful life. So I hope that you learned a few things. Today's a little shorter call than normal, but I really wanted to get that out to you because it's so important to prioritize your day, to make money, enjoy time with your family, and build the lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. So with that said, make it a great day, and we'll see you next week on the Down and Dirty at 1:30. Take care.